in which we will be discussing about the agent-to-agent communication protocol A2A, using a use case, having a use case based on ERP systems. Yep. Next slide, please, Pratik. Okay. So your safe harbor statement. So here, both the speaker and the host, like myself and Pratik. So we are organizing this meetup in our individual capacity only. So we are not representing our companies here, and this presentation is strictly for learning purposes. And we don't hold any responsibility that the solution which Pratik is going to demonstrate today will work with your business requirements. Okay, and this presentation is not meant for any promotional activities. Okay, the general housekeeping rules. So we'll be having the recording of the meetup uploaded to our events page within 24 hours. Okay, so tomorrow you can check the recording on our events page. And let's make the session interactive. Okay, you can ask us the questions in the chat, as well as you can unmute and ask them as well. Okay, and let's make it interactive and not make it only one-sided conversation. And after this meetup is over, you will get a feedback link also, feedback email. So please fill up that feedback, and it will help us to make our future meetups better. Okay, so here is the today's agenda basically. So we'll be discussing about the basics of the A2A and MCP. Okay, and then after that, Prateek would explain about the ERP use case. So he would demonstrate what is the current state of the ERP, okay, and what would be the to be state using the A2A. Yep, next slide, Prateek. Yep. So myself, Vikas Sharma. So I'm working as a technology architect at Infosys. Overall, I have around 15 years of experience, and I'm a Microsoft ambassador and meetup leader for Mohali Group. I'm a Microsoft certified integration and platform architect. So you can connect me on my LinkedIn, and I have my own YouTube channel also on Microsoft related topics. Your integration buddy. So yeah, if you got some time, do check out some of the videos which I have posted on my channel. So here is our speaker, Pratik. So first of all, thank you so much, Pratik, for taking out time to prepare on this really innovative topic and the latest trending topic in AI. So yep, over to you, Pratik. Please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Thank you, Vikas, for giving me this opportunity. So this is the second time I'm speaking at the Mohali meetup, and so it is very like good opportunity for me also, and also like Vikas is giving me this opportunity to speak also. And yeah, so about myself, so I have around 4 years of experience, and I'm currently working in TCS, and earlier I have been working with Infosys as well, and I have completed like MCD level 1 and level 2 certification as well. And yeah, you can follow me on LinkedIn and Medium as well. So yeah, Vikas, so shall I start with the session?
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, yes, Pratik. Please go ahead.
Okay, so now, as Vikas mentioned in the agenda for today, so I will skim through the topics like the building blocks for the agent ecosystem. So what that agent is, right? And will so for that we would require this A2A protocol, MCP protocol, and the inference connector that MuleSoft has also released the connectors for the same. So let me just first explain like what is an agent. So LLM basically on its own is like stateless in nature. So it is just a model which has the capability to generate text, and so based on the mathematical model that it has been working on the background, that is a transform model for that GPT is working on later on. And but if you combine that LLM with an uh, with an tools or with an like capability to perform an action, you get an agent basically. Now now how this agent has been working and how it has been proceed, so that I will carry forward from here. So first we'll go through what is A2A basically. I just so is my screen visible?
Yes, we are on the A2A protocol. Yes.
Okay, yeah, sure. So basically, this A2A was developed by Google, and now it is released as open source with a Linux Foundation. and A2A is built on like standard like HTTP, SSE, and JSON RPC. So so you all must also be aware about the MCP as well, right? Which is the Model Context Protocol, and that was developed by Anthropic. And to just give so understanding about MCP, so MCP is also an open protocol which provide context to the large language models. So in simple terms, it acts a layer between the LLM and the tools. Tools are nothing but the API, database, or the references that you want to provide to the LLM. So MCP is that layer. So it is a USB-C type between the LLM and the tools, and that is how an AI agent is getting created with the MCP. And now, since now already now you have that AI agent in place, right? Now that AI agent might be having a particular task, might be performing a single-handed task. For example, that it would be just performing a flight booking AI agent. So you have an agent that would do a flight booking agent, but there is also like a hotel booking agent running on a separate LLM and separate tools, right? So those for those to interact with each other, so for a hotel booking AI agent and for the flight booking AI agent to interact to each other, the A2A protocol comes in handy, and it acts as a layer between those two agents, and basically it's act as a USB-C type for to communicate between both the two agents. And if we talk more about it, so A2A can be understood based on the client server architecture. So A2A client is an application where like the user interacts, where the user interaction happens and processes like what all capabilities it has, and then the A2A server. So A2A server has the it receives the request from the client and processes a task and update the status there. And there are certain key concepts for like A2A. So one is the agent cards. So basically when the two agents communicate with each other, so they exchange information about like what capability it has, and that information get exchanged in form of this agent card. So it is a JSON metadata document like describing what all agent details are there. So if I go here and show you, so I have already a test application running for this A2A, and I think I might not have. Yeah. So if I show you,
So you wanted to show the agent cards basically, how they're working?
yeah. So basically, I was just expecting to show, but don't have that application running right now. So we'll see that I think ahead.
Okay, maybe if you want to run that, you can take some time. That's fine if you have that handy, or maybe later in that
Yeah,
session.
we'll just cover the concepts first, and then we'll just go through that agent card. So basically, you can just enter just like a business card. You can imagine, like you have all the details about your like business position and all the skill details you have right there. Similarly, what agent can do and what
Metadata
it can
basically,
perform.
what are its capabilities? What
Yeah.
agent can do, and
Yes.
what is the format which data it will expect, or what is the format will the output it will provide, right? Like that kind of information is there in agent
Correct.
cards. Okay.
Correct. And then there is a message part. So for the message part, is the same thing. So we have this task message, right? So here, this is the message part. So this is the message part that gets sent to each other. So once that communication has been established, and now that agent A wants to send the message to agent B, so how it will communicate? So it would communicate in this structure. So that there is this message where all the methods, params, and role parts. So in the parts you have the text, and that is nothing but the prompt here. Also you have the different categories, or you have artifacts as well. So if
Oh,
I,
okay. So this is a request
yeah.
basically, right? A request and response
Yes.
are there, right?
Yes. So
Okay.
the
Okay.
message, then we have part. So part is nothing but the where the actual the prompt is residing. And then in the similar fashion. So here you can see the role as a
Just
user
one second.
you are sending.
Okay, this is a part. Basic part is a part of this message only. Okay,
Yes, yes. Part is a part. Yeah, it's a part of message only.
fine.
And here you can see in the request, the role is the user. So client will be sending as a request with the role user, and then the agent will be responding with the uh, with with also, I think the role will be defined.
So they do different
Yeah,
formats of request and response, and right,
yeah.
Pratik?
So this is basically, yeah, yeah.
And just
Sorry,
paste this link here in the chat. The people are asking for these links also. Okay. Yeah.
okay.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
So basically, there is also one more field. So this role will be user, then that role will be like assistant. You can configure here. So that is like what it is defined here. And then the part is there. Then we have task. So task is basically to have the so during the async communication. So this task plays a major role to have that how the information is getting bounced between the two of the agents. And
Hmm.
with that unique ID, it can trace it, and also the task history is being stored.
So that
And
is the
then
kind of a correlation ID, Pratik.
yes, yes. So if you see here as well, so there is a task here. So there is a task ID here will be generated. So task board gen 123. Then it
So
would
that is
just here
a part
use
of
as a reference.
sequence.
Yeah.
Okay, but the input request we're not giving any task ID.
Yeah. So as an input, so agent responds with the task ID. We can give the task ID in the request also, but since it is not required in this use case, so they have not provided here.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Because only when we send something in the request, only then the correlation will be established, right, between request and response.
Yeah, but there is also like in this scenario, like let's say there is an so here they have sent generate an image of a sailboat on the ocean sea, right? So now that task that this has been generated. So this task get assigned here, and then later on, if we want to reference in the request, right? So this client, so it has sent this as a reference task here, and then there is another text here.
Hmm.
So it will refer to this task. So earlier, so because LLM is stateless, it doesn't have idea of the previous input that output that it has generated, right? So it would require some reference or some. So for this image purposes, for the image generation, it is using for the previous image, it is using this task reference ID, and from there it will get the idea. The agent will get the idea like I have to refer that as well, and then I have to act on this command.
Got it.
And that is basically, so everything here you can say this is also going into the artifact. So there is an artifact for attachments or any kind of image generation or document. The artifact, it goes in this field.
Got it. Got it. And we have a question, Pratik, like how MCP and A2A are architecturally different.
Yeah, okay. So to answer that, so that is already mentioned here in the portal itself. And if you see, so let us just cover that MCP first. So there are also like I have a slide for the MCP, and then we'll come back to this also. So how A2A complements MCP as well.
Sure.
So for MCP also, so there are certain building blocks. So MCP is basically like brain and hands for the AI. So basically, brain is the AI model, and the hands are the tools or API that it is connected, right? And then so for the MCP, so it needs prompts. So prompt is nothing that the set of instructions that it's provided to the LLM. And then we have resources. So they are basically a static file that it can read or refer to constantly. So if there is a like certain file that it needs to refer with every input, then you can mention it in the resources. Then we have the tools. So basically what are APIs and database or that you can reference. So you need to use as so the tools inside the MCP server. And then there are utilities. So there are also like helper functions included in the MCP, which are optional. But yeah, so that is also part of it. And and coming back to the question how MCP and A2A can work. So so basically what will happen is, so there is an MCP server, right? So now how you will create your agent. So for now, for this instance, just ignore this A2A protocol, right? So now you have your resources, all your APIs are here, your APIs are interacting here, and on that you have the MCP server, and that, so MCP is nothing but our type, so a format of like format of messages that and client can communicate with your APIs basically. So it is a standardized process. So here the server is there, and here the MCP client and the LLM is there. So LLM will be like configured with the MCP client, and then it would send a request. So the client would already have an understanding like how, what all resources it has access to, so what all tools it has access to, right? And then it would, based on that understanding, it would feed the LLM, and the LLM would do perform the action, right? Now you have this, so this is completely an agent, right? This is the agent in place, LLM, MCP client, MCP server, and your APIs. This is an agent. And then to communicate with another agent of the similar kind, or of the similar or of a different infrastructure, you are using this A2A protocol. So this A2A protocol is facilitating communication between this agent and this agent, and it is not facilitating communication between your APIs and the agent. So for that, for APIs to agent, there is a MCP, and for like the entire agent which is performing with the LLM, you have this A2A protocol. I hope that clears your query, right?
Yeah, so Diljot, if any further questions, please unmute and ask.
So Pratik, I had a question on the transport layer and the task structure, that request and response structure that you have given for agent, right? A2A.
Yeah,
Can
yeah.
you compare the A2A and MCP side by side if possible on that?
So yeah, so if you see, okay. So now this is how agent would interact, right? Now agent would have unstructured data, and your, so basically an agent A has an unstructured data that it would communicate with agent B. So now those unstructured data are getting exchanged. So basically you are communicating with a natural language only. So this agent is communicating with this another agent in a natural language. But MCP, what it does, so you have an API. So API have a schema or the specification in place, right? And then there is an LLM which understands a natural language. Now to have those, so in the MCP there is a parameter schema. So if I have here also,
So maybe you can just show the MCP tool listener, na, in the
yeah,
yeah, that will be, I think, easy.
yeah, this would be better.
Yep, this one. This is a schema we have, Diljot, in the parameter schema, na, you see. So when you interact with this tool, right, from the AI agent or the AI, like using cursor AI or mule dev agent, you have to pass this format is expected by this tool.
Mm.
So it's a
But
particular format.
there is no schema required.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
this,
schema is required in MCP. Yes.
Okay, got it.
But in A2A, what so Pratik is saying, like it will be like natural language communication, right? Pratik, it won't be
yeah.
using
So here
specific.
also you can see in the parts this text is like parsed.
Yeah, so we are not passing out any passing any specific format or data in specific format. We're just providing in a natural language prompt. That's it.
Okay.
You
Uh,
can also forward like structured data also, but that would require more of the orchestration and internal config within the LLM as well.
okay. And in MCP, like we have data layer and transport layers, right? So data layer is using JSON RPC, and transport layer is using is I think
Yeah.
stateless. So
So
can you compare those things in A2A and
yeah, so you can basically, if you, so if I deep dive, then I think I would just divert from that, but yeah, you can refer to this as well. So they have the specification details all in the model context protocol website, and this
got
is the official website specification. You can also refer here. There is here also. So yeah, the protocol definition is there. So
Yep, I think
you can go through. Yes, it's a
let's
document. A
stick to that.
document is
Yeah.
quite a big. Yeah,
Yep,
so you can
yep,
go
yep,
through.
yep. So maybe yeah, Diljot, I would just also like to have a look on both the for both the protocols, and if we have any questions, we can circle back on that on the basically on the formatting type.
Awesome.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, Pratik, I think we are good for demo now.
Yeah. So for the demo, so I have prepared on this ERP example, which is procure to pay life cycle. So in the supply chain, you must have encountered this where basically there is first there is a request for quotation, where basically buyer requests the pricing and terms for the supplier and evaluate like what all quotations are there. Then this quotation gets converted to a purchase order, right? So all the quantities, delivery timelines, and vendor details are then defined here. And then we have the so once that so supplier accepts that, right? So goods are delivered by the supplier and received by the receiving team. The received quantity and the conditions are then verified against the purchase order. A good receipt is then created to confirm the delivery. Then, right, after that, we have the invoicing process. So once the supplier issues an invoice referencing to the purchase order and the delivery goods, then invoice details are validated. So basically, uh, performing a three-way matching, right? And so three-way matching between the PO, GRN, and the supplier invoice. And then once that invoice is approved, it is sent for further detail, like for the payment processing, right? And that and for this I have used this Odoo ERP system. So how it would work basically, I just
So this is
show.
as is functionality. This is a typical P2P which life
Yeah,
cycle in any ERP. Okay, that is being followed. So in this P2P cycle, like so Pratik would first demonstrate how it is currently working and what and how it would work. It would work when he introduces A2A or agent to agent communication, right, Pratik?
yes, yes. So current this is the as is process what actual user performs on daily basis, right? Currently, so there is like, let's say, so it could be on SAP, or the Odoo or the Kriva system or the Basware, so which
Yep.
is procure to pay or that. So now first there is a purchase, right? So if I go to, so user will be doing a new, then so let's say he has finalized the vendor here. So let's say a dummy corp here, it is defined. Then the timing has been defined here. So this actually the whole form they need to fill. So here they add the material. So let's say a laptop is there for one quantity 50K, and then so this is for the it has decided. Now I confirm the order, so the PO is created here. Now, once that PO is created, the supplier needs to acknowledge. So, what does the user do? So, user will mail the supplier, please provide your acknowledgement for this PO. And if there is any issue, then supplier will mention in that mail or something, and then the supplier would reply back with it is acknowledged. Then the user will basically acknowledge the PO. So once here it is acknowledged, so this all details are then sent to the warehouse that this is the product that I am expecting, right? So if I so generally so our process is there, but since Odoo is using a bot internally, so it has auto transferred the inventory details. So here I can see for the PO44, that is already the details they are asking to, so this validate. So now this, then the at the person at the warehouse, the user at the warehouse will scan the barcode and then validate. So this is the exactly, this was the demand, this was the quantity, and or less quantities received, more quantities received, and it would validate it. And then the GRN gets created. Once that GRN is getting created, so here if you see there is a quantity then received billed. So once that GRN is created, so here the in the PO received should be updated. So here internally this Odoo is updating, but in like real use case there will be an API to transfer the details here. So now this received got updated because here we have validated it. We have done the process. And then let's say so the user comes again, and so now the supplier sends the bill. So once that goods have been received, and supplier mails the bill, and then from that bill, so user checks that bill from the mail and compares it with the PO, so what is expected, and if it is like a similar thing, then user will perform the billing. So since I don't have your access to basically accounts payable, so I am not able to perform the billing, but this basically would be marked as one build, and then it would move forward for the payment process. So just like here that we see.
So that is how the complete life cycle of PO uh, is there, right? That
Yes,
is, yeah. Here
so this
is.
is what happens. Yeah. So this is what I showed you currently. So this is how that it is happening here. So basically now if we bring like so agentic process into the picture, so what it will do, so basically there are different steps, like it would interpret like supplier communication automatically by reading the emails, like it has acknowledged, and then it would update the further process. And so basically converting unstructured data into structured, and then it would also remove the need of constant manual follow-ups by like asynchronously tracking supplier acknowledgement and then delivery confirmations. And it would also maintain the PO lifecycle. So now in the various places the user intervention was there, right? To view the email, to do a three-way verification, to perform an acknowledgement of the things, right? So those would be solved with this agentic AI. And it would also like have it would also add a logs to it to that process, like it doesn't add the delay into the like a payment or something. So it can also basically the payable person can also verify like is this process done or not. And yeah,
Okay.
so this is the architecture that we are talking about, like how it would behave. So what is there? So we have ERP system, the Odoo ERP system. So the backend where the Odoo has exposed the APIs, and those APIs then later consumed in the MuleSoft, and then we have a different CRUD operations then defined here in the MuleSoft, right? And then we have created an MCP server layer on it, and that MCP server layer internally in the application is communicating with this LLM, right? And so this completely builds an order manager AI agent. And then there is another email agent where the mail server has been exposed. So it would basically be vendor or the partners facing, and here the accounts payable facing. So basically in the mail server, the email APIs are there, and then the MCP server and MCP client, and then email agent, and this both agent will be communicating with the A2A protocol, right?
Yep.
And I have just created a client interface as well, just for the ease of communication in this. And yeah,
Any
yes.
question rise on this use case? Pratik has shown you the as is, and now he's going to show the to be using the A2A protocol over here. Any question, guys? Please feel free to ask before he moves forward. Okay, fine. I think Pratik, no questions as of now. Please move forward.
Yeah. So just at the application level, how it is currently looking, right, with this. So we have this Odoo ERP, then it is connected with the Odoo APIs here. So this is like a MuleSoft application, the order manager server I have created. So inside this Odoo APIs orchestration I have done. And then we have the MCP server, basically the tool listener is there. So this tool listener will be making this entire thing as the MCP server. And then there we have the MCP client, So for the MCP client, what it will do, so this inference MCP will be talking to this MCP server as well as with the LLM agent, this GPT-4o mini. And then on this we have the MCP client, which is a send message for the email agent. So this will do a send message to this, and here at the email AI agent side we have this A2A server defined here. And in the similar fashion like this it is there. So also for the demo easy it goes, I have just created into a single application everything. We can have a different layers because this will be actually a different layer, so just like this order manager. So
Correct.
this will be the MCP server. Yeah,
Correct.
yeah,
So basically, MCP server is being used to expose the APIs of the backend systems, right? That is one part. And second part is like MCP client, and I think A2A client and then MCP client are interacting with each other, right?
yeah. So this both AI agent will be communicating with the A2A. So client is defined there, and here if it so if I wanted to communicate, so you can also create a single agent for the orchestration as well. So you have an
Hmm.
AI agent which communicates to both of them. So both of them would basically be A2A server here.
Okay, so for I think for that use case only like this Philosophy and Fabric would be required then, right? So if you want to
Yeah,
orchestrate between different agents.
yeah, so this also, so this is basically a simple and minimum approach, where it is just using two agent. So for
Correct.
this also Fabric is there, but for the multi-fabric, so for the
Multi agents
multi-agent,
basically.
yeah, multi-agents, there would be the Fabric would be very useful.
Correct, correct, correct. Yep, fine.
Yeah, so currently the demo is not like up to that full potential, but I would show that order manager process how it would be working.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Let's run it.
Yeah, so first, like to understand why that LLM is like stateless, so I have this test application currently running, right? And so I have just created a test MCP tool, and then there is a inference connector which is connecting to the GPT LLM and then to the MCP tool. So I will just do a postman call and like basically how. So what is that stateless nature of the LLM? So this is just calling the LLM. So I am calling here LLM. I am just mentioning the template instruction and data set. I am mentioning here. So I will just mention here. Hi, my name is, let's say, Pratik. So now this is communicating with the OpenAI LLM with the with the help of the inference connector.
Okay, some
Yeah, I
error
think
is
the
coming or
timeout issue is there.
restart.
Yeah,
Yep. Just start it, and I think it will be beneficial also, Pratik, for the audience if you can show you the settings also for the MCP inference connector, so that
yeah.
people are aware like what they need to put to make it work with the LLMs basically.
Yeah, so this is the MCP server tool listener. So
Yep,
this basically will make, so here you can have your APIs and then you can refer to it. And here then, so this is the MCP server config. So here we have, so it is working on the HTTP and using this SAC endpoint and message. So this is the message path. And then I have just defined the server name here.
that's it. Yep,
Yeah, and then inside the tool listener we
yep.
have the description, like what is the purpose of this tool. So this is a testing AI agent which would respond with payload retrieve by this flow.
And the main part is
uh,
in the parameter schema basically. Yeah,
yeah, this is how that LLM will communicate with it. It will just send a query, and so it would be just expecting a query and it would be of type string, and then it would do a response, and then the response has been logged here,
correct.
so in the payload.row. And basically, so
And now,
now,
now the request comes in the listener, and then it goes to the LLM via this inference connector.
yeah. So the request basically, yeah. So I will just send a request to this listener, and then this MCP tooling would connect with the OpenAI LLM, and it would also be aware about the MCP client. So here I have defined the MCP client also. So MCP client is basically a config. So in this, you see there is a server URL that is defined. So this MCP URL on which the MCP is running, and it is a SAC endpoint path. and then I have just given the MCP client name. So this client then needs to be imported to this tooling. So here it is referencing here. And if I see the inference connector config,
So it's a mandatory part we have to do, right? Like we have to put
yes,
the.
yes.
So here, like you were running the MCP server on the port 881, and the same port MCP client is also running.
No, I have just using a different port. So here, so client is basically calling this server. So client will not run. So client needs that server, right? It is
Uh-huh.
not running. So the listener is basically, this is the listener for the postman call I have been using.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So you're
So this
not
is on a
calling.
different port. Yeah.
Got it, got it, got it. Fine.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
now we were directly calling from postman, you were directly calling this listener.
Yeah. So now if I say like, hi, my name is Pratik. So now it has given me the payload, right? Hello Pratik, it's nice to meet you. And then there is attribute, then so token usage. So when you work with an LLM, so this becomes a priority to token, because whatever the charges or that you incur, like are based on this token attributes. So this token like should be optimized for the minimal count, because the charges would increase for the LLM based on that. And then you have the additional attributes which are there. So this is the 4O mini model, and then the ID, it has given unique ID. So now I have sent this, and I will just, now again I will ask what is my name, right? So it would say, I am sorry, but I don't have access to your personal information. And it doesn't know, because I have just in the previous context only, so in the previous request only I have shared, but this is completely like new for LLM. So each request would be handled as a new for the LLM. So that's why we have this. So we need to manage how we can provide context to the LLM, how the instructions needs to be defined, how the templates needs to be defined. So this all needs to be decided by us.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
And
Like, yep.
yeah. And now coming to the demo, but I'll just run this as well. I'll be running the three of them. So here in the flow, so this is the order manager. What I have done is I am basically, I have created a custom app using HTML, right? HTML and React, and which would just help me with, uh, yeah, so just a custom app to help me with the request. So this request would basically go to this HTTP list and just do the post call. So there are like different ways to communicate it. So generally the chat interface and the client are configured using HTTP, SAC, or the socket layer communication. So since I'm not much aware on that part, I have just used the listener and just constantly having that post query in it, and then it would do the orchestration. So in the AI agent, I have the inference connector which is communicating with the LLM and the MCP, and based on it there is a decision making also happening here, and then it would call the other agent also. So I have just enabled this. So if the reasoning from this LLM is true, then it would just communicate the email to send the email to another agent, which is the email agent, because the order manager AI agent doesn't have that capability to handle the emails.
Hmm.
And this is, so all this orchestration is just to provide LLM the context, the chat history that it needs to have in order to have a smooth communication. So here I think it has started. Yeah, it has been deployed. And side by side I would just open this also. So let's say, okay, hi, I want to create a purchase order. So it is asking for the partner and product history, but you can like I don't have details handy right now, so I will just ask them, can you fetch products and partners available? So it has given me these are the available products that you can do, and these are the partners. So I will just mention here, and here it has mentioned like this is the tool that it has used. So list products and list partners, and then let's say order one, tell laptop, and laptop priced at 10K from uh, let's say Tech LLC. Now it will create a PO. So now it has created a PO, right? And if I just refresh the ERP here, so here it is currently created and it is in currently RFQ state. Now I can confirm that PO from here as well. So confirm this PO. So what will happen is it would move to confirmation. So this PO is confirmed. So RFQ to purchase order state. So now this also needs to have acknowledgement, right, from the supplier. So for this, I would create this handy.
Pratik, one question. So, from where is this? Your context is all this chat history, right? So, like, how are you? Like, where is it getting stored for the mule process to access it? Like,
So here I have created this file, right? So here in the resources only I have just added. So you can use an SFTP as well, or a different resource also, database something, and you can store that context here.
so
This is
whatever
how.
we are typing there on the UI, it is constantly transferring it
Yeah.
to this file
Yes.
on a shared location or whatever it is, right?
Yes. Yes. Correct.
Can you quickly show me again, like how we created the UI? Sorry.
So UI is basically if I show. Yes, the code is already open.
Okay, that's a separate.
Yeah, yeah. So it is
Oh,
a separate
That's the
code. So it
React,
is on JavaScript. It has.
JavaScript and React. Yeah.
I thought it
Yes.
was something with MuleSoft. If we can do that. Okay.
Yeah. So I think
One
with yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, one more thing, Pratik. So in the flow that you were showing, mule flow, so I didn't see the MCP server. It has to be there, right? Because that is the one who is calling the API for the backend, correct?
Yeah,
This in uh,
but this is the UI. So this is the MCP client, right? So and this
oh,
MCP client is
okay.
consuming the server. So if I go here, then there is this MCP client here, and the client it is calling to the server which is on 8082,
So
and
where is
that's
that process? Is it also a part of your project itself?
yes, yes,
Oh,
yes.
okay,
So
okay.
here
I
itself I
missed that.
have the server. So here
So it's
for each
backend.
of
It's calling separate APIs. You have created multiple servers there, right? Depending upon a functionality like that, correct?
yes, yes. So if you see
Okay,
here,
okay,
so
okay.
it is all so here I have done the orchestration for the Odoo APIs.
Oh, understand. So all that client is doing is basically when it is progressing, it is hooking onto a server, and the server is basically getting the data from the backend API, and then again communicating it back to that, and then along with the LLM, it is taking some decisions or some actions and things like that,
Yes,
right?
right. Yes.
Okay.
So here itself in the MCP tooling, if I see, so here I am giving the instructions also in the template. And in the data, I am providing the chat history as well as what the current prompt is there. So for that,
Okay, so just 1 second, like
yeah,
in continuation to Indra's question. So basically one part is clear, okay. You send the prompt, okay, and this MCP client is hooked up to the MCP server, that's also fine. And MCP server is calling the backend Odoo APIs, it gets the result, right? What
Correct.
happens after that? Like what? Why this? Like after that, this defined prompt template MCP testing. Can you just explain this once more, Pratik? So you got the result and send it to the user. So, but how this
Yeah.
prompt template and MCP tooling inference connector are being used over here? Please, yeah, throw some light over here.
Yeah, so in this inference connector, so this inference connector, I am just trying to understand if the user has asked me to send email or not. So what it will do, so here in the template, the response should be just true or false. I have just mentioned in the template.
Mhm.
And in the instructions, you need to verify the user is asking to send purchase order email to vendor or not. So basically the prompt I'm giving, like so this it needs to adhere to. And then there is in the data the user input is there, and as well as what all the previous in the chat history is there. So basically this so sorry, so in this only the user prompt
So
is
you're
there.
just checking here whether you want to
Yeah,
send the email or not. That's it.
yes.
Okay,
So
okay.
here the reasoning I am doing, and then I have the main so this main performance is happening here. So the email reasoning is there, then I would just change the template and then it would process to this A2A communication.
Okay, okay, fine. So
Yeah,
until unless like this, that email part is not there, you are just utilizing the MCP server. That's it, right? And getting the query
yeah,
answered. Once that email part comes into picture, the user want to send an email. Only in that case, you will utilize the A2A agent to call the other agent. Correct?
correct.
Okay, okay, got it.
Yeah.
Where is the reasoning happening?
So reasoning would happen at both the places, because the reasoning is happening just to understand to send an email or not.
Okay,
And then here the reasoning is happening for all the queries that user is giving, as well as it would accept the chat history as well.
okay.
So here I have defined the data set, and here in the data set I am providing so the current prompt which is there, then the chat ID, so it can refer to it, and then the chat history
Okay.
and chat history. So
So, and
so
there's
yeah.
one more thing. Like when we go through, yeah, Pratik, if you're saying something, you can continue.
Yeah, so this chat history currently I'm like handling at the MuleSoft level. So this can be handled at the LLM level also. So basically, if you have so the context can be managed at the LLM level also. So there is a different LLM. So for each LLM might be having their own studio to work upon. So that I was saying. Yeah.
Pratik, when we go through agents, right, we see the components of agent will be like tools, storage, and then the LLM, right?
Yes.
So, where are all those present in that agent? Like, can we call, like, what can we call an agent in here? Do we have a connector for it, or we are calling this whole app as an agent?
Yeah. So currently this entire flow is the agent here, if you
Okay.
say, because it has capability to store the chat history, right?
Okay.
And then it has so basically have the context as well with itself. Then here with the MCP tooling, it has the ability to call the LLM and understand what all MCP tools that client is providing me, right?
Where are
So
you calling the LLM here?
so LLM, so using this connector config, so inference connector is there, right?
Okay, understood.
In this, then we have this connection. So all the major AI LLMs that are defined here already.
Okay,
So from there, then you can just add the API key and call to that LLM, and you can just define the tokens, temperature, and all that stuff here.
understood.
Yeah. And
So,
within the inference only, you have the MCP reference also. So here you are referring to this MCP client config also.
so basically, this MCP, this tooling one is can be called as an agent, right? Because this gives us, uh,
Decision making ability, basically, right?
right,
It is able to decide the Diljot without human intervention. So what is agent? Agent is something like which can take action on its own. Correct. So
right,
here, like it is the inference tool and inference connector which is taking a decision on the user's behalf, right?
right.
Right. So yeah. So this
So,
whole API application can be called as an AI agent, right,
okay.
Pratik?
Yes, yes, because it has all the stuff, because it would require context also. And without this context, it
It has
would
a
be,
context. It has a decision making ability. Yeah.
yeah.
Right. Okay. And in this MCP tooling one, where are you giving the chat history in this?
So here I have the data set, right?
Okay.
So
Understood.
this data set, I had the chat history. Here it is the input.
Okay.
Find here. So it would just had in that, it would read that file. So here the chat history is there. So initially it would read it. So initially it would be empty, and then it
Understood.
would just populate it in each
Understood.
call. Yeah.
Can you open up the MuleSoft inference on the palette? I just wanted to see what are the other connectors. Okay. Okay. Thanks. Thanks, Pratik.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just go back to the. So do we have any other queries?
Yeah, guys. If you have any queries, please feel free to mute or unmute or post in the chat window. Yeah, nothing as of now. So basically now, so now calling the other agent, so you will need that email in that prompt, right? Okay, send that email, right, Pratik?
Yeah, yeah. So I'll just add this. Hopefully it doesn't time out now. I just added like to send email because that email functionality is not complete.
Mm-hmm.
So now if I go to the app and see, I think it has timed out.
Now we need to restart again.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, let's do it. So in the meantime, the Mule app is getting restarted, guys. If you have any questions, please feel
Um,
free to ask.
so, yeah, Pratik, I had a question. Like, I wanted to create an agent, right, and test the agent fabric as well by myself. So I was creating a POC on that. Actually, I have to create, not creating. So I have to create it. So, but I was thinking, like, is there? Have you tried Mule AI chain as well? Does it allow us to create the agents, or it's just the inference connectors?
I think the inference connector is a carry forward to that AI chain also.
Okay.
So I think so AI chain it was there, but I think the inference connector would be more powerful now.
Okay.
Sorry.
I was just looking into the documentation. They have, I think, both are separate. As you said, that it's a continuation of that, but I feel it's just separate Mule A chain connector and
Yeah, so I think if I see this. Yeah, so this is separate, but I think the developers which developed, so they have only developed the inference connector as well. And I think it is based on this idea only. But I think, yeah, currently it is separate, and I think they have released a new version also, I see, because this 1.0 was not there earlier.
okay. Yeah, I think previously it was a open source project, right? Then MuleSoft adapted it as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I wanted to create an agent. So have you, if anyone else in here have used it or created an agent with MuleSoft, they can just help me with that, or just tell me like how you can go ahead with that. Is it inference connector or AI chain connector, which would be better?
Yeah, maybe you and I can correct separately on that, Diljot. Okay,
Awesome.
we'll
Awesome.
discuss with Pratik also. Okay.
Yeah. So during my like research, so I found inference connector to be easy to use, so I have gone with that.
Okay.
I'll just do this again, email one. So for now, so can which you are writing. So it has used this, and now I'll just add a command, send the mail. So since I have not configured this jar the prompt properly, so it is giving like you to send the mail. So I'll just check in the app does it has sent or not. So if I see the mail as well.
And have you added to the agent fabric, agent network as well? This agent?
No, I haven't explored on this agent fabric.
Agent
Maybe
fabric setup is, yeah, it's needed for that. None of the just you need a private space for that, and you need a managed flex gateway subscription, right? So
Okay.
those don't come with a free free tier. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah. So we'll have to go step by step, like starting with the MCP and then A2A, and then creating multiple agents and managing them through agent fabric. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, because the POC that I have to create in it, I have to add it to the fabric as well. that's
Ah, okay, okay.
that's why I'm
Yeah,
asking.
agent fabric, like you will need that private access plus managed flex gateways. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. So basically, I think right now I'm facing some trouble to that, but this is what I had tested earlier also. I will show you that.
Okay.
So this is like in this format, like it would send an email, then the user would reply the acknowledge, and then they at the email server end, here we have service, and here, so on new email, it would be listening it for the acknowledge mail, and then it would basically have that details here. Then we can have the A2A client configured here for the order manager, and then send the message to here this order manager UI, and then it would on the backend also update it. So for now, I would do one thing. I would just update it from here itself.
So here, when you send that in the email in the chat, right, it would be recognized and then email would be sent, right, like that.
Yeah, yeah. So
Mhm.
basically, we a sync process only, but currently that email I'm facing that trouble.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, sometimes it happens. It's fine.
So now,
So now this PO would be acknowledged, right?
yes. I
Okay.
refresh it. So it is acknowledged now.
Okay.
So now,
Okay, Pratik. I think.
yeah, yeah. So I think that timeout issue again it has come.
Yeah, yeah. No worries. No worries.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think overall it was a good demo, Pratik.
yeah,
I learned a lot of new things, and yeah, it's really interesting. I think to explore this A2A
yeah.
connector. Yeah.
So basically, when that supplier will send that email to do like invoice also, so then that this will also get like three-way matching. It would do an update here also as a build, and then the from the warehouse it has received, then it would also update here as a receive. That is how
So,
that AI would be performing in the background.
got it. Got it. Got it. Yep. Fine. Thank you. Thank you so much, Pratik, for your time. Any questions, guys, before we close this session? And these are the references which Pratik has used. So you can go through these documentation links. Any question, guys, before we close this session?
I hope this is like everyone got benefit somewhat.